Tonight, we are going to be talking all things autism and Florida. And I'm sure there's going to be some great hints and tips for your next Florida trip. Coming right up. Yeah, good evening, folks, and welcome to Your Florida Adventures, the show where we chat to our guests about their love of Florida and we find out their hints and tips to help you plan your next Florida trip. My name is Lewis, and I will be your host for the next 60 minutes or so. And first and foremost, I am a massive Florida fan. I love everything about it, and I visit the parks regularly. I love it so much, I actually started up my own travel agency called Your Great Adventures, and we specialize in the US and all things Florida. Now, as a Florida fan, I love to speak to other people about their love of Florida. Not only does that give me great joy, it also helps me find other things to do in Florida, not just the parks, but I like to plan something different for my next trip. Now, let's be honest, traveling to Florida can be daunting at the best of times, even for a regular. So we like to chat to brilliant guests like the one we have tonight to find out again why they return to the happiest place on earth. And I'm looking forward to so much chatting to our guest tonight. It's going to be a really interesting chat. And whether you have been to Florida 100 times before or you are planning for your very, very first trip, I am sure this show or the ones we've had previously will have something for you. So do go back and check our previous shows. There's been some absolute corkers. Whether if you're watching live, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join in the conversation. Please ask some questions. If you have a question for our guests, that'd be great. And we can pass those on to him, or I can pass those on to him. And do leave your comments in the box. And I'm just going to go to the comments section right now, just to see who is joining us. Yes, hi, Evie. Hi, Danny. Hi, Paula. Good of you to join us. Hi, Get Binky crew, and I'm sure there's lots of other people watching out there. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest. My guest today is such a lovely chap. I haven't had the pleasure to meet him face to face yet, and I say yet, stress that, but we have spoken on the phone a number of times. He's a genuinely lovely guy, has a real passion for Florida, and also has a real passion for raising awareness for autism. He's got a lot of experience now of traveling to Florida with his autistic son, and I'm sure we're going to find out some really great things about him and that journey that he's had, and some really helpful hints and tips. So please do give it up for the one and only Ben from Adventures with Zach.
Evening, Mr. Miller. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself? I'm good, thank you. How are you? Yeah. Really yeah. So we've got this delay going on, guys. I'm pretty sure everybody's used to it by now. So I'll probably be talking over Ben. Ben will be talking over me, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So for you already, Ben, Merlin's is saying hello. Jen saying hello. Matt Perrin saying hello. So yes, so it's great to have you on the show. How are you feeling about this?
A little bit nervous, but it's without doing stuff like this, you don't spread the awareness. So it's something that you've got to push yourself through. The more you do it, the more comfortable you become, hopefully. But we shall see.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Just look at this as a chat with a mate. That's all exactly. I'm going to say. And just have. Yeah, that's it. That's just the way that we like to roll. So who is Ben? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us a bit of background.
Oh, well, I'm what, mid-30s. I won't give the exact number away. Obviously, big love for Florida as the rest of us, hence we're all here. I went when I was very young and was very fortunate to go quite often. And it's kind of something that gets passed on to you, isn't it? It's your turn to take that torch, run with it. Um, so since obviously then I had Zach, and then it was always building up to a trip, and we gave it a few years. Didn't want to rush him too young. Didn't want to take a baby out with us, all the conditions. And then I think he was 3. He turned 4 on his first time, and it was like, right, it's time to bite the bullet and head out and see how we get on with it.
Mm. Yeah. So the other thing I need to kind of mention to everybody is that Ben and I actually live, in relative terms, we live quite close to one another, don't we? We're only
Half an
about
hour on
20
a good
minutes or
one.
25 minutes, yeah, half an hour away from each other, which is it just shows how small this world is and how, the community is so close knit. And actually, I think within our Get Binky Facebook group and friendship groups, there's quite a lot of Essex guys in that
A lot
group,
of
isn't there?
Essex.
So yeah, there
Have
is.
to an Essex
So
meetup soon.
absolutely. When this is all over, mate, this is definitely going to happen. I'm
I'll be
telling
heading
you.
straight round near to you for a beer or two.
Absolutely, yes. Too right. Too right. Um, so we know about a little bit about you, just a fraction about you. But tell us about Zach and Zach's history a little bit, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. So with Zach, around 1.5 to 2, it was still very non-verbal. There was no words whatsoever, and we noticed a few behavioural things. He'd line everything up. Stuff had to be a certain way. So the flags start going off as much as you don't want to. So I think other people around us noticed a lot more than what we did, especially me. You don't want to admit it, but it's something that's hard to process at that time. You're like, no, he's fine. Yeah, okay, he's not talking. I'll give him another year. So you wait, and that other year comes. You're like, okay, maybe it's time to start looking into it, and it gets broken to you, and yeah, you deal with it on the spot. And I spoke
Mm.
to people that have gone through similar since, and I had one piece of advice from one of my good friends, and it was on the day of Zach's diagnosis. It was he said to me, Zach doesn't change from when you go in to when you come out of that room. And it was just brilliant because it was so right. And at the time, you don't feel it, but afterwards, you're like, it's still Zach. He hasn't changed
Mm.
a bit from what I've known him. So that's the only thing I say to anyone if they're going through it is on that day, it's still your child. Nothing changes because of a piece of paper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
And do you mind if I ask, kind of, what's the situation like? I know you said to me there's no right or wrong way to describe this kind of stuff, and I'm terrible. I'm not the terminology. I'm sorry. I do apologise if I
no, don't worry
offend
about it, bro.
anybody. But how does Zach show like his autism at this stage? Has there been changes throughout his life, or is
Oh,
it
definitely.
fairly similar?
No, it changes. I would say weekly, but it changes all the time. But it's in a good progression way, rather than some people are regressive with it. But where Zach started off with little, he's developing all the time now, especially since he's been at school for the last 18 months. With, with what's going on. But
Mm.
he's up to 4 word sentences now. Communicates through other means, be it pecs or just telling you in a simple form what it is that he wants. So obviously the one we keep getting at the moment is money and Disney World. It's like then go to work, I get the monies, then we go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so his communication's a lot better. He'll listen to you a lot more, and he's starting to open up a bit more and bring you into his world as well now. So, well,
Yeah.
it's more forced upon him, but like Star Wars is just massive for him at the moment. He's doing the noises for the TIE fighters, for Chewbacca. Uh, so we sit and we'll play the games. He'll watch the games on YouTube, and that's just how we spend a lot of our evenings on his level, communicating with him.
And that must be amazing for you to see that kind of growth and like the nurturing that you've done to see that kind of improvement and growth and everything that he's kind of like experiencing must be really great for you to kind of witness and see, and must be quite
It's
joyous.
amazing. And I know it's very cheesy and cliche, being that this is a Disney space to talk, but we see the difference every trip. Literally
Yeah.
every trip, something new will happen. Be it he will find the confidence to speak to the characters or go near the characters. The last trip he took his ear defenders off, which he's never done inside the parks. He actually started talking a lot more through the dinosaur ride with the hand puppet at the start from Dr. Seeker. So we did the ride. We come out. He saw it. He
Okay.
wanted it. I was like, "Sorry, yeah, we can get it." So we got this thing. He put it straight on his hand and he's talking away with it. It's like that's all he needed was a puppet. It's mad, but you learn as you go. And that was when he started talking
Yeah.
from there onwards. Oh no! Oh, sorry.
I'm
Okay.
gonna. I'm just gonna. So, okay, so hopefully I'm going to introduce Zach to everybody. There we go. How many trips have you guys taken together now?
Zach has had 5 trips to Florida. He's been very lucky.
Okay.
And that photo there is from his first
Yeah,
one, which would have
absolutely. Sorry, how
been
old is he now?
Zach is now 8. Got to make sure I get that right. He'll be 9 this August, and that photo's from when he was 3, turning 4 in August 2016.
Very cool. Very cool. Um, so just talk us through kind of the journey for what you've kind of learned over the years. Maybe start off with that the very first trip. You know, how how was that planning stage for taking Zach, knowing what you kind of knew at that stage?
Yeah, there was a lot of worries that came with it because obviously it was something that I'd always done as a child. As I got older, and when I met Shelley, it was something we did with her children. It was like Zach's not missing out on this. So whatever way we have to do it, we will get there. So with everyone, you always plan your trips a year in advance, if not maybe a little bit more. Um, so it was like, okay, well, this is when we're going to look at going. How do we get to that point? So of course it's all booked, and you're looking straight away because we did think about maybe doing a smaller holiday um, to somewhere in Europe, so he got used to a plane and all, and being away from his house. But it was like, well, does he then become used to that? So it was, if you're going to do it, go big. So we took the gamble and said, okay, we're going to Florida. I started looking straight away into places, trying to find people that had travelled with children with additional needs and trying to find out anything I could. And it took a little while. There wasn't too much out there to start with. And I finally come across a blog that was written by a lady who had been to the Virgin base at Gatwick. So I read that. It's like, oh, okay, this might be something. So sent an email to their assistance team. Was put in contact with a lady called Geraldine, who's an absolute star. Because without her, none of these trips would have happened ever. She got back to us and said, "Yep, sure thing. We know your circumstances. We'll try and sort something out. We'll get you to come down." So the first time we went down there was June in 2016, and we flew in the August. She took us in, showed Zach around the fuselage and the seating arrangements, and he got to go and play with all the blinds, and he was throwing them up and down. And it was just to make him feel comfortable to see what he was to expect. And in that same year, the National Autistic Society, they haven't done it since, but they held a open day at Gatwick Airport where you could go in and you could do a practice run of security. They'd closed off one side of the security. Obviously, there was only a certain area you could go to, but you go through, they do the body scans, take the shoes off, and put them on the conveyor belt and let them go through. So there was a lot of preparation and looking at other ways to do it. And like I say, Virgin were amazing. Gatwick had been amazing. I'm sure other airports will do the same as well if you get in contact with them. We was lucky enough that after the first trip, because it was a great success, we carried on speaking to Geraldine and said that we decided to become, not to become, but to start vlogging these adventures for other people. And she invited us along for another day. I believe it was around May of 2018. So we took the camera to that one. So we got to then share that with anybody else, and we can recommend that to anyone that's looking to travel. Even if you're not traveling with Virgin, it's worth getting in contact. Obviously, when all this COVID thing is over, and they'll take you around for the day and help you get prepared. There he is. That's him actually on the plane. That one. But yeah,
Yeah. So
so
was that the actual plane, or was that the training thing?
that one's the plane. The one before where he's standing up's the
Right.
training where we got to go around for the day.
Right.
But yeah, they were
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant all the way through, to the point that after the train, Geraldine took our flight details, so the day, the flight number, everything like that. It came to getting onto that plane, and they already knew who Zach was. If he needed anything else, they was going to be there on hand. I cannot fault Virgin Assistance team at all. They were from, like I say, from the moment that we said that we was going to book with them to the moment that we landed, they was with us every step of the way.
That's incredible. And so I guess that you are willing to give like those details out to other people that would need it, so we'll put those details into the show notes and stuff like that. So that's they can do. People
So
can contact Geraldine or Virgin or
yeah,
whoever they need to contact.
certainly. Well, not to plug it, but it's all the details for the Virgin Assistance team and everything is on that blog, and it's the very first blog we ever released. So yeah, it's there. If you
Right.
need it, go find it. It's in the description for the email.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, guys, if you've got you're watching, if you've got any questions that you'd want to ask Ben about his experiences and any more hints and tips, we've got a few other things to talk about. Definitely, so airport side. There, let's talk about the. Let me get it right. The sunflower lanyard. Do you want to just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure thing. Actually, you've got Zach, one of Zach's ones here. He has a few now. But they've been around for, well, probably 5 years now. There's a lot more countries that are open up to them. UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, obviously the States, Holland and Belgium this year have also started accepting them now. The UK airports, it's 22 UK airports, 16 in the States, all recognise this lanyard. And it's not just, I know we're talking holidays, but it's also, as does Morrison, Sainsbury's, railways, everybody's now seeing this lanyard and take a note of it. And it's for people with hidden disabilities. So they can see that and know that you might need a little bit more time going through security. You might need help if your child's having a meltdown. They're just on hand to give you help. And it's a nice way of doing it without having to say, no, my son's autistic, my daughter's autistic, can I have some help? Or you're going to need to give us a little bit more time. Same with the security, you can go through Gatwick, it's the family side, and with Florida, they have a disability queue line at MCO, and these lanyards put you into those lines, get you through as quick as you can, as easy as possible. Obviously, there's no special treatment, but it's a way that you don't feel pressured. Like you don't get through, you think, oh, where's my bags? Got to pack everything up. I've got to move on. You do get a little couple more minutes and a bit more help, which is obviously always a great help for everybody.
It certainly is. It certainly is. And Dell's a great friend of yours, Dell, is saying, glad to see that more companies are recognizing this. And that's absolutely true. Do you know, I spoke to Dell earlier. I know you've been chatting today as well. And he's given me something that I need to ask you. So I will be doing that later on. Don't be too scared, though. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Um,
open.
and hopefully this will come up. Andy Robson has said Ben and Zach have helped so much with our own family's journey with autism. So you're certainly touching people, and no, just through this, but through your general awareness of autism. That's just an awesome thing that you're doing. So keep up the great work, my friend. Keep up the great work. So on to the box, shall we?
Yeah, sure thing. So, yeah, now let me get it the right way round. Disney have DAS, which is your Disability Access Service. Universal have the AAP, which is your Attraction Assistance Pass. And then SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and their parks have the RAP, which is the Ride Accessibility Pass, which is very similar to the Merlin's passes in the UK. So all of them are very much similar. I wouldn't say they're all exactly the same, but they're all a big help. And don't be afraid to ask to use them because you're entitled to use them. So use them. Disney's DAS. So what you do, especially we always have the magic bands, but it works with your cards as well. It's a return time. And you used to have to go to the ride. You'd go up to it. You tell them that you want to go on. They would scan your pass, and then you would have to wait. Whatever the wait time is, minus about 10 minutes, you'd come back and you'd go through the fast pass lane. Now, and it's great because we had a situation at Test Track where I had to go up, get Zach's pass scanned. Of course, to Zach, he's going on the cars. He's going around the track. He's going to have the great time. It's like, no, dude, we've got to come back in an hour. We're just getting the time. But they have since changed that. And now if you look for a blue umbrella and a blue stand anywhere in the park, you'll have a cast member that will have an iPad. They can scan your pass and pick any ride in that park that you wish to get a return time for. So they're very up to date with it. They're very on top with it. SeaWorld and the sister parks with the wrap are very similar, apart from obviously you don't have your magic band and it's a handwritten piece of paper, kind of like the UK park. So you'll go up, you say, and instead of having to return, you go straight on, but you have your return on the end of it. So you'll go in, say you're going to do a ride and it's a 40-minute wait. They're right on there what time that you entered, what time you can use your pass again, give you back the piece of paper, you go in, ride the ride, and you can't use that piece of paper till that 40 minutes has passed. Universal's is very much the same as that as well. But like I say, it's there for you to use. So do it. Don't feel like, oh, I shouldn't be doing it, because it's for the benefit of your child to have the best time they can. You spent too much money there to feel embarrassed about using anything like that. It works for all the rides. It doesn't work for the characters, but that is where Zach, he was smaller on our last trip, where Zach had a jogger, like it's more of a grown-up stroller. We could use that as a wheelchair. So you go to guest services, they give you a red tag, you explain the situation, so you want to use it as a wheelchair. So any character meets, we could keep him in his wheelchair. In his stroller, because it is used as a wheelchair. It was just so we could put his hood up. He had his own space where he could switch off, sit and play with his iPad or play with his toys. And then he was able to queue for the 20 minutes, half an hour for characters. So don't be afraid to use that either. And we didn't get told about that until a situation arose where we needed that. We went in to go and see a character, and when we took the stroller, and the woman's like, no, you can't come in. It's like, well, what do we do? He's autistic. So if you've gone to get services, you get one. So that was the next thing we done. And it's one of the things we say to everyone, don't forget to use the stroller as a wheelchair, because they feel comfortable in it.
Well, that's all amazing information. So again, we'll make sure that we can get that kind of information out to people in the show notes and stuff like that. So that's brilliant. And you know, as you say, this is all easy access. Like the Disney and Universal are very accommodating to sort all this out for you.
Oh, yes, definitely. I believe it's Florida law. You do not need to prove it. It's up to you or not, but we always take either a letter from his doctor, where we used to take the letters from the doctor. They never look at it, but it was just more for our peace of mind. It was like, yeah, this is official. But now Zach is also entitled to a blue badge, so he uses that now. So you can just show them that, and they're fine. They set it up and put your whole group on the DAS pass. And also with the blue badge as well, you'll get premium parking. So where you go in and it's the $50 parking, you'll pay the $25, but it gets you closer to the park from the start. so you haven't got to worry about getting like folding up the stroller, getting on the cars, and being driven. Is just literally within a walking distance to the park entrance.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just there you go. Again, just really cracking information, and thank you so much for that. Just wanted to bring this. Sorry, just wanted to bring this photo up because this is one of my favourites. Uh, um, so clearly, Zach is absolutely fine with going on most of the attractions. Is that fair to say? Is there anything that he won't go on, or is he just gung ho? Yeah, let's just do it.
He will do anything once. It's after you can get him on that first time, he's fine. It's not a fight to get him on. He wants to get on. He wants to experience, but because it's all new, um, he doesn't. I wouldn't say he doesn't enjoy it, but he's not. He's very much inside himself for the first time of anything. But after that, you can't stop him. He loves Tower of Terror, Space Mountain.
Mm.
Looking forward to on the next trip because obviously with the big gap that we've had from not going, he's going to be a lot taller. So it's like, okay, maybe it's time for Universal. Maybe it's time for the Hulk, and see how he goes from there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely. So
he's a little
he'll be up
daredevil.
for that, right?
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
think from taking him from a young age, it was very much right. Let's go. Let's just put you on a ride and see how you go, rather than trying to build him up to something. It was sure did it in the UK. We went straight into Cheshire was his first park, and it was straight on the vampire. It was see how he reacts. If he comes off in tears, we know we've got work. If not, then we know we've got a little thrill seeker, and it's going to be
yeah,
no problem whatsoever.
cool. Uh, so let me just say, just this one. They're saying, I guess this is to me. Have you seen Zach on an expedition Everest living his best life? I haven't seen that, but I will watch that if that's a sight to be seen. So Evie, my daughter
Hey,
Evie,
hey,
hello
Evie.
Evie, has said, "What is your favourite parks? What which ones do you kind of gravitate to?"
Zach's is Hollywood Studios, without a doubt. He has a fascination with the Tower of Terror to the point he used to memorize the prologue as you were waiting in the library area, and he would read that back to you as that's going on. He absolutely loves that ride. Um, Also, Rock and Roller Coaster's there,
Nice.
Lightning McQueen's there. So yeah, he's and now obviously we've got Batu, and he's into his Star Wars. Everything's Millennium Falcon or Tie Fighters, and he's away with it. So that's very much Zach's park at the moment. Mine's always been Animal Kingdom. I love Animal Kingdom. Um, I used to love it for, or I still do love it for Pandora. That absolutely blew my mind the first time. And it's not just Flight of Passage; it's the whole area. You walk in and you just feel like you're in a
Yeah.
different place. It's fully immersive. The night blossom drink, yeah, and definitely go at night as well. It's a different place at night to what it is during the day. There was one trip we went. I went down there on my own one night. Zach was in bed. It's like I'm going to head back out. So so I got back in the car, back down to Animal Kingdom, and just sat down there on my own for an hour. It was lovely.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I mean it's a special park, Animal Kingdom. I mean they're all special parks, but I also love Animal Kingdom quite a lot. A lot of people don't love it because they say it's very hot and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely. I mean, when we went on our last trip, I would say that kind of came away as our favourite park.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, certainly with you there. Are there any? So we know your favourite parks. Are there any? Has there been any kind of really awkward moments that you've learned things from?
I wouldn't say there's been too many awkward moments. We did learn, like I said earlier, about the wheelchair pass for the stroller. That was a little bit frustrating because it was something that hadn't been relayed to us, even when we were sorting out our DAS pass. That because obviously then that meant we could have done more characters because this was about midway through the holiday that we found out. It meant that we could have been doing more characters and more comfortable rather than walking up saying, "Oh, 20-minute wait, Saxon never going to do that," so we'd walk away. Um, but there's never been, like I say, awkward. You get the usual stare, people that don't understand. But it's something that you learn to not live with, but you adapt to. You're like, okay, you can, yeah, you can look, but I'd rather you
Yeah.
come and ask. If you got questions, it's what we're there for. Come and ask, and more than happy to talk about it.
Yeah. So, and character meet and greets, are they absolutely fine? He's in his element at the moment, and particularly on this photo. Again, I love this photo. You know, there's no issues with strange characters or anything like that. You know, or no scariness or anything like that.
No, I would say his 2016 trip, he was apprehensive, but I think that's any child is. They're seeing something they're used to holding in their hands, being 8 foot tall and in front of them and moving around. It's, well, what's going on? But again, it's very much you're getting past it once, and he loves doing it after that. Like, it's just so he knows that he's safe, and then after that, he won't stop. Stitch is obviously one of his favourite. I love that photo because our good friend Diane actually arranged for. I was doing the whole. I know people do the Elf on the Shelf with their children, but I did the Disney version with Zach, which was the Holiday Stitch. And at home, we always used to hide him. We had to go and find him the next morning to see if he'd been naughty or he'd left him something nice like a present. And we'd arrange with our cast member friend to with Big Stitch that he would hide him, and then them two would hold hands and walk off and go and find him in the area. It was, yeah, we were very lucky that day and blessed to have that moment.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's incredible. And obviously through the amount of times or the times that you've been there, you've said that you had a cast member friend. Is that somebody that you've kind of connected with through your trips, or did you know them beforehand? Or
no, it's we seem to come away most trips with either a new one or two friends. It's just when you're in line or if you're doing the character meet, it's just talk to them. You know, they're doing their job. They
yeah,
love the interaction as much as anyone else. If you see them a couple of times, then say, "Oh, we saw you at so and so," and you'll get some really good Disney information out of them as well. I remember where was we? Was
yeah,
it the Dinorama with the Primeval Well? And it was a big queue, and we was talking to the girl there one day, and she's like, "Oh, I've just finished doing all the testing for Rise of the Resistance." So you got to tell me, how is it? Because we're going in a couple of days. I need to know. And she actually let us slip that the Kylo Ren animatronic is the old Wicked Witch of the West from the Great Movie Ride.
right,
So
yeah,
I was
I've
like,
heard that.
wow,
Yeah,
yeah. So like I say, speak to them because they're doing their job. They want to interact, and you're making their day by, they don't want just everyone to walk past, take their photo, and move on. You know, they're
mm,
doing their jobs all day, every day. So ask them how they're doing, how they're getting on.
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, like we were saying last week with my two they were on last week. You know, we made a list of about 50 cast members. They all had different memories for us, and actually, the cast members were probably more important than the characters.
Exactly.
You know, just connecting with them for my two. That was just a really that's a massive part of the trip. You know, so it's it's so good to hear that people do. You know, I agree with you, Ben. Everybody should be chatting to these guys. You know, not everybody is nice to them, unfortunately. Even in the
No,
most magical place in the world, you know they still get a lot of grief. Probably get 50% or more of grief than they would do of just people saying hello and being genuinely nice. So I totally uh I totally get that, and I would encourage that as much as you possibly can. Dale wants to know whether that was apple juice or not.
no, none of that tonight. I will save that for tomorrow. It's nearly the
Indeed,
weekend, but
indeed.
not
Right,
quite. David.
it is. it is nearly the weekend. So yes, indeed, indeed. Uh, so when do you normally go as a family? You know, obviously you haven't been able to go for a couple of years now, oh, a year and a half at least. But when do you normally go as a family?
Like I say, with Zach after his first trip and seeing how much he progressed, it was very. We had a 2 year gap, so we was August 2016, May 2018. But then seeing how he reacted on the May 18 one, it was like we want to go back. I think before we'd even drove from the airport back to where we live, we'd already booked to go back in the December. So, and this happened since then as well. So it's very much, I think we've been August, May, December, then April, then December again. It's there. Any time's a good time to go to Disney, surely.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think all of those times that you've mentioned are absolutely brilliant times to go. In fact, you're kind of missing the main heat of the summer, so that's
Yeah,
certainly great. And I mean, one of the things that I would absolutely love to do, and I know everybody in my family would love to do, is go and see all the Christmas decorations. Actually, you know, that would just be the icing on the cake for us. So certainly.
don't want to be Disney downer.
Facebook
Just do it
user
once.
has
Sorry.
Facebook user is just saying the cast. That's all I know. Like I say, there's a big delay, guys. So I apologise that I'm probably a bit behind Ben at the moment, and he's so we might talk over each other. But Facebook user is saying the cast members love an English accent. They've lost count of the amount of times that we've said we don't know the Queen or Hugh Grant.
They do. They kind of migrate to you, don't they? So they hear you talking. I suppose it's something new for them.
Yeah, and also they think everybody's from London. That's the other thing I've noticed.
How
So,
far are you from London?
so yeah, are you from London? Oh, not quite. I might. So we normally just say that we are because we're not that far away. But you know,
No.
hey. So from a point of view of okay, a bit about the parks and you know, are you just Disney fans or is there Universal love there as well?
No. Obviously, Zach's only ever been to Disney. I didn't want to take him to. Sorry, he has been to SeaWorld on his last trip. Universal was very much held off because I didn't want to take him into the parks, see these big, amazing rides, and be you're too small, you can't go on it. I couldn't get across to him why he couldn't go on it, so it was like, as much as I want to go, we'll leave it. We'll wait till he's tall enough. So that's very much going to be hopefully the next trip. SeaWorld, he got on really well. He didn't mind not going on. There was a few big rides he couldn't go on, so we tried to avoid them around the park as we went around. So that wasn't too much of a problem. But yeah, so at the moment in Zach's mind, in his little bubble, there's only Disney out there when we go out there. So the next trip he has two whole new parks to explore with some of his favorite things like the Minions and Spider-Man. And yeah, I can't wait.
Very cool. No, I'm sure you can't either, and I mean, again, I'm quite the same with our two. I mean, we've done Universal and in our last trip we just did Disney, but really, actually, now my two are like actually they're kind of really gunning for a bit of Universal. So I just wanted to I just wanted to show Zach. This was a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, first nice weekend. We was like, right, let's get back on the scooter, get back down the beach, and start getting some fresh air. And I took that photo,
He
looked at
does
it, it's like,
look.
oh, what happened? He's too tall.
I was going to say he does look very grown up.
Yeah, he's so he's 8, but he's wearing 11-year-old clothes. It's a little giant at the moment.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, just going back then to to Florida. Obviously, that's kind of as close as Florida as you're going to get at the moment, but uh, on the seafront. But when you stay, you where do you stay normally? You don't stay on site. Do you say, or do you stay on site, off site, hotels, villas? What kind of scenario does that work?
Always been in villas, even when I was a kid. So I would love to do a on-site stay, but I don't know if I would like to do 2 weeks on Disney property or Universal property. I like the freedom of a villa, having your own pool, having your own space. It's your own house for 2 weeks. It's not just a couple of rooms. Obviously, I think everybody, and I always try and do it whenever we're away, is everyone needs their own space of it. It's we spend so long earning money, doing the overtime to get there, that you feel like you have to spend every second with the people you're there with. Don't be afraid to take half a day or a day and go off and do your own thing for a little while. You don't do it at home. Nobody's together continuously for 2, 3 weeks. Go and have half a day.
Yeah.
Just walk around the park, chill out, have your own space. We all need it now and then.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. And do you staying in the villa? So you stay in the villa and you don't you do your own thing every now and again. But do you have a structure for how you do the parks on a day? How does your park day look?
We always aim to get to the park just after rope drop. I'd love to get to rope drop, but then to say to Zach, we're here, but you can't go in for another 20 minutes yet. You're going to sit there and wait. Is not an option. So we aim to get to the car park. So park openings at 9. We'll aim to get to the car park at 9. So by the time we're parked and we walk up, the first rush is through. And then so we'll have the free fast passes that we pre-book before going, which are vital. Then we use the DAS pass for any of the other rides that Zach wants to do that day. And sometimes we'll leave the park at 2, 3 o'clock and then come back later. It's very much gauged on Zach, but obviously as he gets older, we want to take him later into the days, later into the nights, and move on that way. But we very much let Zach lead. If he looks like he's had enough, then we'll go. We'll go and grab something to eat, chill out, refresh at the pool for half an hour, and then head back out again.
Yeah, that's kind of a really way of doing the parks. You have to let the kids lead no matter what, really. I think
Yeah, exactly.
what are their circumstances. Yeah, absolutely. Let the kids lead, because as Ben says, it could be a disaster otherwise. It really, really could be. So, and I'm sure people know, I am a foodie. So how do you eat on site when you're in the parks, or do you go back for food? Is that easier to go back for food? Is it easy enough to eat in the parks?
Yeah, Zach's pretty much his diet's getting better, but very much when we was in Florida, it was chips, and it was chips for 2 weeks. And then he'd have his breakfast in the villa, so he'd have he has like Oatabix and some fruit, so he'd have that. But from then onwards, it is just chips. So every Disney quick serve does chips, so you were safe there. And then come the evening, so he'd have his fries, we'd have a burger, we'd snack during the day, but our main meals were at night. And we stay just off of the 192, and there's so many restaurants. A lot of the time we either go to a drive-through or we'll go in and pick it up and take it back to the villa, sit at the table, and then when he's ready and he's done, he can run, jump in the pool and chill out for the evening there.
Do you ever get to go in? Do you ever go in the evenings then? Do you go and see the fireworks and stuff? Is that an option?
Yes, yeah. Sometimes, if not, we'd plan the day to start later. So rather than heading down first thing in the morning, we go and do Disney Springs or walk around Walmart, some extra time in the pool, and then head down in the afternoon. Yeah, especially obviously there's not any now, but the nighttime parade, it was something I always wanted to get Zach to see. So it was very much right. We're making sure we're doing that. So we was there that night, and I think all parents have done it. You go back across the ferry boat, back to the car, and you've got a sleeping child in your arms, but it's worth it at the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a bit yes, it's worth it to see their faces. But yeah, it's hard on the arms when you're carrying your child back. So keeps you fit, doesn't it?
It
Indeed.
definitely does. Burn up a few burgers.
It does. I believe there are no calories in Florida because everything you burn off from the heat and from the walking, so it's never going to be a thing. So,
I
um,
live by that.
so I think we've kind of talked about the parks and we've talked about your experiences, your where you how you eat, and your accommodation. Is there anything else you think be helpful to guys out there that might, you know, is there any kind of other little hints and tips that you might be able to give anybody around traveling with a child with additional needs?
Uh, Especially if it's something that's new in your life. It's very difficult the first time. You've got to live for you and you've got to travel for you and your child. Ignore everybody else around you. Don't worry about the looks, the comments, anything, or if you're being too slow or if your child has a meltdown. I know it's difficult, but fight through it. It is worth every single fight. You get there and you'll have the best 2 weeks ever. You'll get back and you'll be straight on again, and your child will enjoy it. And like I say, we're lucky enough that we see the progress every trip from Zach. Um, and I can't wait to see more from him. And I just hope that other people aren't afraid to do it. It's too easy not to do something because of what you're worried about. But you've got to go for it. If not, you're never going to know. Nobody got anywhere from thinking. You've got to try it.
Yeah, you do. You have to. Um, so let's just go on to some general hints and tips then from you, because this is something that we do with all of our guests. So,
Okay.
and I haven't pre-warned you with it because I normally send out the questions to everybody, and I haven't done this for you. But if you've seen the shows before, you'll know what's coming. So now, this is my favourite one. Other than the obvious, which is your passports and your money, what are your 3 must-pack items for Florida?
Phone charger. Uh, iPad. Zach cannot go anywhere without his iPad. And battery packs. Because yeah, everybody needs a battery pack.
It seems like everything technology based is key now.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the way we are now, isn't it?
It is. But yeah, you haven't gone with the comfy shoes, which is quite.
No, I years ago I worked in a trainer shop, and it was very much put into us fashion before function. So my feet are like bricks. I can walk around there in most trainers that you give me.
And what is do you have a favourite must do restaurant?
Yeah, and this one has caused rifts recently. Shelley very much enjoys Garden Grill and the character interactions and the food, and I'm very much Ohana for breakfast now. We went on our last trip, and I fell in love with it. Yes, okay, the characters aren't as great as they are at Garden Grill, but the food's there to make up for it. Yeah, so it's going to be an awkward one, but we shall see. It might be Shelley, you go on that day and do that. I'm going to go this day and do that one. And Zach gets both.
Yeah, well, it's they're both great, so you're never gonna have a bad meal. I don't think you can have a bad meal at either of those. It's just I just don't know whether I would want to miss out on that cinnamon bun, iced cinnamon bun. But there you
You
go.
can
That's
get it
just
at
me.
Buster's Tavern.
Yeah, it's just not quite the same. It's
That's
not. I'm
the
afraid
argument.
it's just
It's not
it's not. It's
£140 worth of cinnamon bun, though, is it?
yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. So when let's look at it through Zach's eyes, shall we? What do you think Zach's 3 must-do things are when he goes to Disney parks?
Sea Stitch, Expedition Everest, and Space Mountain.
Very
Probably in
cool.
that order as well.
So, obviously looking back, Paula makes a very good point here. Just to see the smile on the child's face at Disney is priceless. And I've already talked about my experiences with my kids. How do you feel when you're taking Zach to the parks?
It makes every bit of overtime, every Saturday you've worked, everything that you haven't had worth it. Just for that smile when you get there. Well, even before we go, as soon as you tell him going to the airport, getting on a plane, and he's going to ask for the Millennium Falcon, even though it's not there now. But as soon as he's on that plane, he's sitting in that seat, he's smiling, he knows where he's going, and yeah, it's worth every sacrifice you make to get them there. So yeah, couldn't agree with Paul more there.
Yeah, I totally. Oh, the one thing that I've forgotten to ask you about, because apart from, I don't know whether I've spoken to anybody. I might have done and not asked this question, so I apologise if anybody has done this. But the photo that we've got of you, which on this little banner here, which is going to come up now, that's you outside of the X-wing.
Yeah.
What? So you've obviously been to Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Is it like?
It's fantastic. I could sit here and talk to you for an hour about it, and you still wouldn't be prepared. It's like I said earlier, Animal Kingdom is my favorite park. Pandora was just blew my mind. If you're not even if you're a Star Wars fan, this takes you to the next level. It's you talk to the cast members there, and they've got their own phrases. Everything just ties in. I'll be completely honest. On the first time we went, me and Zach are walking around to see the Millennium Falcon reveal, and in the video you see my glasses go down, and that's just to stop all the tears. It's like, wow, we're here. I'll be completely honest. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I cried seeing the Falcon. I was just like, oh my god, it's something else. The food, the menus, it's unbelievable. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, you have to appreciate the work that's gone into that.
Yeah. So I'm going to be exactly the same, Ben. I'm telling you, I'm going to be the same. Like, so I'm a child of 1974. I remember as a little one having my very first Star Wars figure was a sand person, and I had three or four, and I just loved them. I played with them all. They weren't main characters; they were all that strange
all the Tusken
characters,
Raiders and
like
yeah,
the Tusken Raiders, like yeah, or oh, what's his called? What's his name? Grand Tarkin.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yes.
He's all the Lobot I had, all the kind of weird ones. No, I didn't have Luke or anything until a little bit later on, but I loved my Star Wars figures, and I used to get up. I didn't sleep very much as a child, and my parents will testify to this. So I used to get up very early in the morning, and we were quite fortunate to have a video recorder and a copy of Star Wars. I would watch Star Wars through every single morning without fail. I could still probably recite the first section of the whole thing. I love Star Wars. Probably, I'm not geek, but that it's a lot of memories for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait to go and see that place. I'm so gutted that we missed this year's trip. I don't know whether we're going to miss this year's trip. It's kind of likely, but I cannot wait. So I'm very envious. I'm just going to say that right now.
It will be worth it when you get there. I promise you, you are not ready for it. Nobody is ready for it for that first time. You're just like, oh, wow, what happened here? Why has this not been done before? And like I say, that was before you even get on
Yeah,
Rise of the Resistance. Yeah, that ride
yeah,
is something else.
yeah,
So
absolutely. And as Dell says, Florida is worth any wait. So yeah, let's hope it is. Let's hope it is. And as I agree, also I agree with Paul again. I know I will cry when I walk into every day. You know, when I get back there, and I'm probably going to be the same. So
I think
cannot
there's going
wait
to be
for
a lot
that.
of
Cannot
people
wait for
wearing sunglasses. Doesn't matter if it's a
that.
cloudy
Too
day,
right.
everyone's going to have their glasses down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's raining. If it's
I'm not
raining, you're
crying,
fine
it's
because
just
it just
sweat.
yeah, yeah. If it's raining, you're absolutely fine. So it's not going to be a problem. But there you go. There you go. Well, Ben, we are coming into land now. Thank you so much for another great evening of chat and some really great information that you've passed on. But before we finish, I do have some would you rather's, 10 would you rather's for us to finish with. So please do try and say the first thing that comes into your mind. That's the easiest way to go about it. Are you ready?
I am. Are you?
Let's see. Let's see. Okay, first question, easy, is would you rather be at Walt Disney World or Universal Studios?
Or Disney?
See? It's easy.
It's easy.
Would you rather just have Dole Whip or Butterbeers for the rest of your life?
Dole Whip. Love a Dole Whip.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, which dark ride would you ride with the lights on? This is one of my favorite questions. Would it be Revenge of the Mummy or Space Mountain?
Revenge of the Mummy. I've been lucky enough to be on Space Mountain with the
Interesting.
lights on.
Okay, there you go. Would you rather go to? We didn't talk about this actually. We should have done. But would you rather go to Volcano Bay or Typhoon Lagoon?
Volcano Bay. Not been there yet. I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to that too. Okay, I think I know which one you're going to go for here, but you can save only one of these sections of the parks. So would it be Diagon Alley or Pandora?
Pandora. I think I beat you to it. Didn't even need to ask it.
I didn't need to ask it. Okay, some rides are completely different when you ride them at night, and these two, I think, are particularly so. So, would you rather ride at night either Big Thunder Mountain or Splash Mountain?
Splash.
It's cool. I like Splash Mountain at night, but I don't like it when I get wet, which
You
I
won't
did.
see it coming
I
in the
got
dark.
absolutely soaked one time, and it was, it wasn't great. But Big Thunder Mountain is incredibly fun too at night time. It's awesome, especially when the fireworks are coming on. So
Oh yeah,
that's really cool. Would you rather ride It's a Small World or American Adventure 10 times in a row?
Oh, oh wow. Small world.
Get it over with.
Yeah. Then I never got to go on it again.
You can only keep one of these. The other one has got to go. It's just going to be chucked in the bin. You're never going to see it again. Would you rather keep Mickey's Not So Scary or Halloween Horror Nights?
Mickey's. Not been yet. I want to go.
Okay, very cool.
Sorry, Universal fans.
Yeah, well, seeing as you've kind of been a bit of a Disney nut, then it's kind of it's likely to be that way, isn't it? Okay, got two more, just two more. So, would you rather spend a night in Cinderella's castle suite? Okay, just one night, or a week in a Polynesian village bungalow? You know, the ones over the water.
bungalow for a week.
Me
I
too.
get the appeal for one night, but it's not worth being there for one night, is it? It's too much to do.
Absolutely right. Too right. Just by the way, you've probably seen these comments as they're coming in. Andy Robson thinks that you should definitely take Bill on Small World when you're doing the 10 times in a row. So, as many people will know, Dell is not a fan of It's a Small World, which is sacrilege to a lot of people. But there you go.
It's all an act. He loves it, really. Behind closed doors, he keeps going on about it.
Yeah, he sings it every day. So this is your last question, Ben, and you've been a fantastic guest, and thank you so much. And I have no options for you on this one. What attraction are you most looking forward to when you manage to return to the parks? And when I say that, I mean new attractions.
Velocicoaster.
And why are you looking forward to that one particularly?
It just looks amazing. It's fast. It's gets me back in Universal, where I've not been personally since before Zach was born. And I just love Jurassic Park. It's my favourite film of all time. So yeah, that's very
really?
much. Yeah, big Jurassic Park fan. So I can't wait to get back into that land. And with the new coaster as well, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and talking of plans, do you have any plans to go back? Are you now we're kind of starting to see the end of the pandemic? Are you starting to think about what you're next going to be still holding out to see what happens?
I'm gonna hold out. I did at Christmas time. I think we all get that feeling, don't you? Christmas has just finished. You're like, I need to go back to Florida. I need to find my happy again. So was going to think about trying to squeeze one in before the end of the year. But now that they've said 2022, there's zero restrictions. It makes more sense to go then for Zach rather than have to hold him back as he's trying to climb rails to go and see his characters. Yeah, it just makes sense to just to wait a few more months and head out sometime in 2022.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed that when 2022 comes, then things will certainly be a lot further back to what they were in the past. Ben, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. If people want to get in contact with you, good. I enjoyed it. If people want to get in contact with you, how do they do that?
All our socials are open, so you don't even have to follow. You can just leave us a message on there. Same as the YouTube comments, they're checked daily. So yeah, just wave your hand, say you want to chat, and be open to talk about anything, be it parks or autism or both. It's nothing is off limits. That's the point of doing this. It's help as many people as we can. The goal was always to do one, and after you've done that, it's like, well, why stop at one? So anytime we can help anyone, it's worth giving that time for.
Great. Perfect. Now, there is one final question because I nearly forgot this one. So,
okay.
Mr. Dell Campbell says there are some weird similarities between the two of you. Could you enlighten us as to what that may be?
The ones that I can talk about.
Yeah, just the ones that are clean.
They're friendly.
And friendly.
We both used to work in a trainer shop. We both eat with the wrong hand. We're both right-handed, but we eat like we're left-handed.
Right.
There's quite a few just to try and remember. I'm sure he's got more on his list. I've gone blank. Yeah, we've both got receding hairlines.
Who hasn't, quite frankly?
Exactly. But no, there's quite a few. But no, the dude is awesome. As everybody in this community knows, he gives his time for anybody and everybody, like too much, if you ask me. He's always there for anyone at the phone call. And we can't thank him enough for everything he's done personally, as a channel, and as a community. The dude is amazing.
Yeah. So if so, people watching and right now and don't know who we're really talking about, we have stemmed. We talk a lot about our friends from the Get Binky, Do What Makes You Happy Florida Facebook group, and Dell and Jen are the masters of that group, and they have a great channel, Get Binky. Do go and check them out. Likewise, do check out Adventures with Zach on YouTube. There's some lovely content on there. So thank you once again, Ben, for being such a lovely guest, and all the best for you in the future. And you know where I am when you're ready to go to the parks
Dude,
next year.
Next year, you know this. Well, yeah, you said Florida earlier. There might be a trip before then, and this is what I was worried about talking to you tonight. It's like, oh, is Lewis in the office tomorrow? Can I give him a call?
I am in the office, so if you do want to give me a call, please do. Anyway, been a pleasure, mate, and all the best to you. And you're welcome, and look forward to chatting to you again in the future when you've managed to get to the parks. So, I just want to my wife doesn't really say very much on here, but she has. So thank you so much, Ben, for sharing your story. You and Zach are doing an amazing job at promoting awareness of autism. With you only being down the road, it would be lovely to bump into you both. So Catherine doesn't say very much on here, so that's a praise indeed. So
definitely going to happen.
So it would be great for you guys. Yeah, indeed. Well, you can come over and come over and see us, and that'll be amazing. So, or we can meet in the middle. Anyway, that'll be awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again very soon. Well, there you go. That's Ben from Adventures with Zach, and thank you all guys for sticking out with us and joining in with the chat. We really do appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a lovely evening, and hope you guys have got something out of that. So just to remind you that next week I have Vicky and Rich from Tinker Tales. Now, I'm saying Vicky and Rich. I definitely know Vicky's coming on, but I'm not sure about Rich. So it might be just Vicky, but it might be Vicky and Rich. So the guys from Tinker Tales will be joining us next Thursday, the 18th of March, and I'm so looking forward to hearing about their Florida journeys and their passion for the Sunshine State. Guys, if you want to get in contact, please do so. yourfloridaadventures@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any questions for me or any of my guests, please do put them in the email. And if you want to come on and be in the show, that would be great as well, because we're always looking for guests to chat to. I always love chatting to different people. You can follow us on Facebook at Your Florida Adventures. Just catch up. I'll give you an update of what's going on. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. That would be amazing too. And do share. If you do share these shows, if you do like them, that would be amazing. Also, finally, just to remind you again that about Your Great Adventures. If you are looking to plan a trip to any of the Disney parks or anywhere around the world, please do consider giving me a call. Do check us out again on Facebook at Your Great Adventures or at www.yourgreatadventures.co.uk, and you can contact me through the contact sheet there. So that's enough of my yakking. Have a fantastic evening, everybody, and thank you once again for sharing your evening, your precious time with us. And just remember, your adventure is out there. Have a great evening. Take care.